Okay, we're going to backtrack a little bit because we are catching up to learning how to graph. We're working on that in science and in math, but in math it's only slightly different than science. So a couple things we wanted to just mention is that when you graph, you're going to have two number lines. One is horizontal, and that is called the x-axis, and one is vertical, and that one is called the y-axis. We call them axes when we're talking about both of them. The grid that is formed by the two number lines is called a coordinate plane, and on the coordinate plane we plot what we call coordinates, and coordinates are two numbers in parentheses separated by a comma. And the two numbers, the first one is the x value and the second one is the y value. So if we were to plot a point, say 5, 2, that would give the location of a point on the coordinate plane. Just like when we do latitude and longitude, we look for the degrees latitude and the degrees longitude and where those intersect. Similar to that, instead of being on the earth, it's on a nice flat piece of paper plane. So on the x-axis, I'm going to label the increments. And I'm just going to go by 1 to start with, just to keep it straightforward. So I'm only going to label every other one, just because numbers get a little too close together. And on the other axis, I'm going to do the same. Okay. And this point right here that is shared by both number lines is called the origin. It's the starting point of the graph. It is the point 0, 0. It's where 0 lies on both origins. So when we plot a point, say I want to plot point 5, 2, I find the 5 on the x-axis because 5 and x are the same. So I find 5 on the x-axis is here. And then I find 2 on the y-axis, which is here. And then we draw the line in our head. You don't have to actually draw it vertically and horizontally. And where they meet will be the point 5, 2. It's important to note that the order matters. If I was plotting the point 2, 5, 2 would be the x value, so it would be this imaginary line that goes up from 2, and 5 would be the y value, this imaginary line that comes from that y. So it would be this point right here would be 2, 5. It might also be beneficial to mention that when you have a 0 for either x or y, you're not moving at all. So if I had the point 3, 0, I'd go to 3 on the x because 3 is first. Find that. And then I'm not going to go anywhere on the y because the y equals 0 is right here. So that was the point 3, 0. And if I wanted to plot the point 0, 3, I'm going to go to 0 on the x-axis, which is right here, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and plot the point 0, 3. So the homework tonight is working, tonight and Monday night, is going to be working on plotting points on a coordinate plane. We'll be practicing this in class in both math and science, and we'll be practicing graphing ratios eventually. Once we're good at graphing, we'll get down to graphing ratios and ratio tables, which we'll work on.